the correct way now and kind of go through what I saw my first night. So the guy talking my night, the night I started was named Dave Watson. He had his own airplane that this company paid for by the time I met him. So he had my attention, to say the least. And I was in your chair and he was up there talking. He taught me 2 rules I built this business with for the last 8+ years. The number 1 rule I'd write down if I were taking notes is that this business is supposed to be fun. We need to lighten up. I had some funny jokes tonight. I really got anything out of it. So this is a party. This is not a job. Okay? We play Worldventures. We do not work Worldventures. The more fun we have together as a team, the more money we will make together. Our mission statement as a company is to put fun, freedom, and fulfillment into people's lives. As you're doing your business, remember that. You're just a beacon of fun. That's our whole product. Okay, so have fun, relax. Here's what I want you to do. Throw a party. The easiest way to launch your business is to invite your own friends and your own family to your house. And ladies, wine and cheese. Have all your friends bring a bottle of wine from a different part of the world to give it a travel theme. Ladies, Hawaiian parties. Guys, barbecues. My first launch event, chips, no salsa. My second one was just bottles of water. That was my second one. I recommend you do 3 on different nights of the week so you hit different people. My third launch event was nothing. It was drink your own spit. And people signed up every single time. Okay? So here's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be spectacular. We are looking for action, not perfection. We're looking for ignorance on fire, not knowledge on ice. That's what wins here. Okay? So have fun, relax, throw a party. Number 2, and probably the best decision I made was right now. When Dave was in front of the room the first night, he said, if you've never made $25,000 a month in network marketing, I don't care what else you've done in your life, you've never done this. And he said, if you want to win here, you got to humble yourself. And you got to become coachable and teachable. Here's what I know about the people in this room. We have a lot of successful people in this room right now, some that would just blow your mind. Really successful people. Okay? But that doesn't automatically mean you're going to be successful here if you don't learn how to do this business. See, I always reverse it. Like, I have this doctor on my team, one of my top income earners is a surgeon, right? And I said, what if we reverse the role? Like, what if I went to my doctor and I said, Dr. Kathy, I make $1 million a year in network marketing. I've been successful in network marketing, so I'm automatically going to be a great surgeon. Let me take over that surgery for you on Tuesday. Oh, it doesn't work, huh? I'd have to learn how to do that one too. So you got to learn how to do this no matter where you came from, right? And humble yourself, just become coachable and teachable. I love sports. So the way I looked at it is the best coaches, right? At one point in their life, weren't they the best players? Almost every time, at some point in your life, the best coaches were the best players first. So that means you got to become the best player right now. Then you become the best coach. You become the best student, then you become the best leader. And I wrote down word for word what he told me to say, and I literally read it to my friends. And in 3.5 hours, I made my first $1,200. And this is what it looked like. Hey, Curtis, this is Eric. I'm a bad reader. I told you I was a dropout. So, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I wrote down word for word he told me to say, and I read it to my friends. Now here's the crazy part. I travel all over the world today, and people actually paid money to listen to me talk. So when I was in Rome, Italy, it's $300 a ticket to listen to me speak for the weekend, and 5,000 people bought flights and hotels. I met some of you out in Phoenix, right? 15,000 people flew out 2 months ago to Phoenix, and they bought flights, hotels, paid all this money, and I get up on stage. Right? And you want to know what I do when I'm up on stage? I just teach people how to get what I got. It's my only goal. Is I want to teach you how to go from 0 to over 100,000 a month. I want to teach you how to go from 0 to 1 paid for vacation every 3 weeks. The insane part is 90% of the people that pay all this money to listen to me talk go home and never attempt what I tell them to do one time. I tell the truth, by the way. Is that okay with everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Same thing's going to happen in this room tonight. In Langley, British Columbia, you're going to learn how to get this thing done. But look to your left and look to your right, and 90% of you people you see are going to walk out these doors and not attempt what I tell them to do one time. And I'm going to teach them how to make over 100,000 a month without having to work. Why? Because the first night, I had read a script to my friends, and I was uncomfortable, and I sucked. And your first night, you're going to be uncomfortable too, because you're doing something for the first time. I have a question for you. When is the last time you did anything for the first time? Weren't you uncomfortable then? When's the last time you got better at anything in your life? Here's the problem. At the age of 25, most people fall into a comfort zone. And Benjamin Franklin said the day you fall into a comfort zone is the day your dreams die and you just breathe for another 50 years. I believe your comfort zone equals your wealth zone. So the question becomes this. If the only way you can grow your wealth zone is to start by growing your comfort zone, how do you grow your comfort zone? Do I have permission to be real with you here today? Yep. Here's the only way I know how to do it. The only way I've ever been able to grow my wealth zone in my life is I had to think about the things in my life that pissed me off. Like, what about your life today? Really, I want you to think hard. What about your life today makes you mad? Like, what makes you mad enough that when you walk out these doors, you actually pick up the phone and call people to change that situation instead of go home, sit your butt on the couch, and watch the Kardashians live their life instead of you living your own? Here's what it was for me. I hated my old life. I used to have to check my bank account before I could make decisions because I didn't know if there was enough money in there. That's no way to live. That's the way I used to have to live my whole life before Worldventures. Hated that crap. You know what was worse than that? I watched my parents live in the coldest part of America, and for 10 years they couldn't afford to go on a vacation and get out of there. And every time I'd see them, I'd feel helpless because I couldn't get my own money situation figured out. I couldn't pay for them, and they helped me their whole life growing up, and I couldn't help them. Today, my parents have a globe in their living room, and when I go home twice per year, we go to the globe, and they just get to point. And I get to pay first class anywhere they want to go twice a year and go with them and pay for everything, and we get to stay as long as we want to stay. What was worse than that, though, was Sunday nights. Right now. I used to hate Sunday nights in my old life because I was so sick of walking into that office on Monday morning. It felt like walking into jail. And Monday through Friday, I'd sit in jail, but Friday afternoon was like breaking out. It was like, oh, the weekend, right? And everybody's in a great mood on Friday, isn't it? Don't people change? It's like, where were you all week? It's like you finally got some color back in your face. And I'm in a great mood, yeah, on Friday. Saturday, oh yeah, but we all know what's coming, right? Every single week, Sunday night would come around. I used to have to go set this stupid thing called an alarm clock. And I can still remember this feeling I'd get right in the pit of my stomach on Sunday nights when I'd set my alarm clock. Because I knew I had to wake up early Monday morning and do it all over again. Not because I chose to, because I had to pay my bills. I quit college when I realized it was designed to teach me how to get a job. I never wanted a job. I'm anti-job, just so you know. I am pro-paycheck. But I am anti-job. I will never teach you how to get a job. I will teach you how to quit a job. I want to teach you how to design a life so you don't have to make choices like all my friends who have jobs. All my friends who have jobs, I watch them. And here's how they have to make every choice in their life. It's always based off of two factors. Do I have enough money to do it, or do I have enough time to do it? So every choice has to be made. What if I could teach you how to design a life so you can make choices based off of one factor? Do you want to do it or not? What if time and money were no obstacle? Check this out. My first 5 years, I did a lot of this. So for those of you who want just to be done, like you want to be the $1 million earners in Canada, you want to be the top earners, it's 1,000 days. That's what it is. Nights and weekends, I know you got to work your job for a little while to pay bills, that's fine. But if you just gave us 1,000 days of your nights and weekends, I can give you the rest of your life off. You know what's cool? Doesn't matter how many swings you take, in life you only need one financial home run. If you just do it one time, if you want this to be your home run, you're done. Okay? Now I wanted to make sure this thing was done for real, so I did 5 years all in. Like a lot of what you see here. For the last 3.5 years, I've gone over 100 vacations, but I made a decision about 110 vacations ago that I was no longer going to vacation like you do. I made a decision from now on when I travel, I will only buy one-way tickets and I will stay till I'm bored. What would that feel like? Like it really doesn't matter at all where I am anymore. I can just go and I have enough freedom where there's 107,000 people around the world, I can't spend it fast enough. When I'm on yachts in Ibiza, I still have more money in my bank account when I go back home than when I left the first time because my income has nothing to do with me. I'm insignificant to it. Okay? Time and money are nothing. You know what I realized when I was in your chair? I didn't need to be rich. All I wanted was the ability to do whatever the hell I wanted to do. That's all I wanted. I was sick of being an adult and having somebody else telling me how much vacation time I got. Seriously? Somebody tell me when I get to eat lunch what I have to wear and I'm an adult in a free country? I was sick of that crap. I wanted to own my life, and that's what I want for you. So where we got to start you is in the very beginning. What we care about is contacts. Who is going to be the top income earners in Canada is not who you are, it's who you know. That's all I care about today. Who do you know that's better than you? Who do you know that could do this? Who do you know that could stand up here and do what I just did? We need to meet them as fast as humanly possible, and I promise you, this is a race. So fast is fun, and slow sucks. Okay, so start with your top 10. Who could we get on paper that we can invite out tomorrow? Where's the event at tomorrow, by the way?
Alan's. Alan and Sarai's.
Alan and Sarai's house tomorrow. What's the address?
14981 62nd Avenue.
But I'll be there tomorrow at what time?
7, 6:30.
All right, so
7 o'clock start.
let's just fill that place out. Let's get everybody out there as much as you can. So who could you invite out tomorrow? Who are 10 people you could put on paper? This is where I would start. This is who I'd invite tomorrow. The 10 people that if I gave you $1 million right now, you would have the most fun splitting it with. Those are the 10 people I would call right away. From there, I want you to build your list. So if you just want a little bit of money, I get not everybody wants what I got. Okay, if you don't want what I got, you can just do a little bit of contacts equals a little bit of money. But if you want what I got, it took a lot of contacts. So for me, it was 200. 200 names on a sheet of paper. First name, last name, phone number. And I know that sounds like a lot. I'm not trying to freak you out. But Robert Kiyosaki says it's a scientific fact at the age of 21, we all know 1,000 people that recognize us by our first name. So 1,000 people I can call. I go, hey, Tom, this is Eric. He knows who I am. Scientific fact. Here's the problem. To get what I got, you're not allowed to prejudge people, and I know what you all did because I did the same thing. I remember sitting in your chair my first night, and I was like, man, I got this one girl, she travels all the time. She's going to do it for sure. She didn't do it. And I was like, man, I got this one guy, he knows everybody. He didn't do it. But then there was other people I hesitated to call because I didn't think they had the money, and they ended up being some of my top producers. There was other people I thought were too successful. Too successful, huh? Shaquille O'Neal, you know, the basketball player, the guy who now owns an NBA franchise, the guy who's worth $600 million, he just went all in with Worldventures last month. All in, building the business. I don't think there's anybody in your cell phone that's too successful for Worldventures. What are we even talking about? So instead of trying to predict and be a psychic friend, who's gonna say yes and who's gonna say no, why don't we just show them all and let them decide for themselves?
Yeah.
So here's my challenge to you tonight. Before you go to bed, I want you to shut your brain off. Now that's going to be the easy part for some of you. Shut your brain off and turn your phone on. Brain off, phone on. And I want you to go to your contacts and write down every name, but you're not allowed to think. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're 8 years old. If they're in this phone, you're writing that little sucker down. First name, the last name, phone number. When the list is done, go to the top and write SW, the 2 most important letters in our company. And then just snap a photo of it and send it to JR. Send it to Curtis. Send it to Tom. Send it to every leader you know that can help you do presentations. And let them know you're serious about this thing. Because here's the problem. It's going to get big here fast, and we're not going to be able to help everybody. So what we do as leaders is we help the people that deserve it, not the people that need it. You want these leaders' attention, you want them helping you on a one-on-one basis, make your list tonight, send it to them, and say, I'm serious about this thing. You help me, I help you. I promise you, we're looking for you. We just need to know who deserves our help versus who needs our help. SW means this. Some will, some won't. So what? Who cares?
Next.
This industry of network marketing is so funny because it creates a ton of first-time millionaires. You're currently staring at one. But you want to know what else it does? It creates a ton of failures. I told you I was going to tell you the truth, right? It is a double-edged sword in this industry. When I learned that, I asked a question. Why do people fail? There's one answer. Anybody know how you fail at Worldventures? Quit. When you join tonight, you're joining our family, and you can't get fired from your family. When you're in, you're in. You can be the worst rep of the company. We don't care. Keep coming back. We'll help you get better. The only way you're going to fail here is because you're going to quit. People quit my team every day. So what? As I'm doing this talk, I will bet you somebody somewhere in this world is quitting my team. So what? There's 1,000 people quitting McDonald's today. There's 1,000 people quitting McDonald's today. You guys think the president of McDonald's is in his office right now on a Sunday night freaking out about it? He's like, got his guys around. He's like, uh-oh, guys. 60-year-old Chelsea in Langley, British Columbia is quitting McDonald's today. Should we shut it down? Or do you think he replaces quitters without even noticing? And understands a quitter's one job in life is to quit. A winner's job is to replace quitters with somebody better and never think about a quitter ever again. So I was cool with that. But I was like, the only way to fail is quit. Why do people quit? It's interesting. The numbers you fail, numbers you quit. I hope you don't. If you do, I do know why. It's because your feelings got hurt. That's why people quit this business. Now that was funny to me because I was one of those people who want to make a bunch of money fast. You know, my first question was, when do I get paid? Here's the way it works, just so you know. Whatever you do between right now and Friday at midnight, there's a check waiting for you in your bank account when you wake up next Friday. I was like, prove it. Anybody else next Friday want to roll out of bed and pull up their bank account on their phone and just have a big fat check from Worldventures? Just go kaboom! Right in that bank account? You know that's possible for everybody in this room, even if you're signing up right now. But here's what needs to happen. When you walk out these doors, you need to start taking the results. You need to start taking the yeses and the nos, what I call OPOs, other people's opinions, and detach yourself from it emotionally. I look at myself like a waiter. Let's say I went to Applebee's after this. Y'all have Applebee's around here?
No.
What do you got? Cactus Club. Okay. Let's say we went to Cactus Club after this. Is that where we're actually going? Okay, so let's say we went to Cactus Club after this. Here's what's going to happen. I will bet you. As soon as we're done eating, waitress is going to come rushing up to our table. And she's going to smile at us. She's going to go, hey, did you guys save your room for dessert? And what do we say to her face every time? Nope, go get me a box. Does she care? Really? So you're trying to tell me you can tell her no right to her face and she doesn't even care? She doesn't even barely hear you, huh? She just goes, next table, next table, next table. What if she cared? What if she like sat down at her table? Like, shoulders shrugging, like, lips. Dessert doesn't work. You going, this chick's freaking crazy. She needs some help. But how are you going to react? Because I know what's about to happen. I watch you get all fired up. First person you go show is your broke best friend. I don't know why, but we all start there. Okay. Then we go show our broke best friend, and we screw it all up because we're brand new, and we get to the end, our broke best friend goes, well, that sounds stupid. And here's how we react. I don't know if it works. At least after meeting me, you should know one thing. It's working. It's working real good. Some will, some won't. So what? Let me teach you something my mom taught me. Consider the source. Your broke best friend who thinks this is stupid, why don't you tell me their credentials? Like, why does their opinion count? Are they billionaires? I have a question. Why would you take business advice from a broke person? Would you take weight loss advice from a fat person? Would you? No. Then why are you taking business advice from broke people? Here's where this came from. I was fired up my first weekend. I drove 4.5 hours one way to show my broke brother-in-law. And I walked right into that little tiny house. And I went right to this old kitchen. And I got to the end of the presentation. I looked him right in the eye and I said, hey man, are you ready to get started? Because that's what they told me to say. And I smiled because they told me to smile. And 8.5 years ago, my broke brother-in-law smiled back and said, Eric, I think you're an idiot, and I'm pretty sure you're going to jail. Word for word. Quick update, by the way. Here we sit, 8.5 years later. He does live in that same little tiny house. I saw him last weekend, and he was actually driving the same car as when I walked in that day 8.5 years ago, and offered him one of my first positions in Worldventures. About 3 months ago, my mom called and asked if I'd pay for his whole family to come on vacation with us. I thank God before I ever walked into his house that day, I learned something about life I'm going to teach you right now. The day you buy someone's opinion, you are also buying that person's lifestyle. You be careful whose opinions and lifestyle you buy every single day. You know my favorite part about social media? Nobody can lie to me anymore about their lifestyle. Because before I buy your opinion, I'm checking your Facebook. I'm checking your Instagram to see if I want your lifestyle. And if I don't want your lifestyle, why would I listen to you? It doesn't make sense to me. So here's what I want you to do. The next time your broke best friend tells you this doesn't work and you're an idiot, go to my Facebook page. Go to my Instagram. I'm Eric Get Paid. Check my photos. Check my videos. I can't tell you I was in yachts and Ibiza if I wasn't, because they'd have to be there, right? See whose lifestyle you want. Do you want my lifestyle? You want to live on my island, or do you want to live on your friends? Oh, they don't live on an island. How many magazine covers they recently been featured on? How many people pay to listen to their opinion? Then here's what I want you to do. Make a real decision about your life. Because if you want your broke best friend's lifestyle, you don't want mine, keep buying their opinion, because that's what you're going to get. You want my lifestyle, you're getting my opinion, and you're in the dead center of the largest untapped country we got going right now. You can leave here and you can just start getting it. So I had this 4.5-hour drive home and I got fired up. For the first time in my life, I quit caring if my friends said yes or no. I really wish that for you. The day you can become wealthy is the day you quit caring what other people think. And I looked at my list, like a deck of 200 cards, and I said, my job's not to convince deuces to become aces. My job's just to show everybody and find 2 aces. Now, my broke brother-in-law was a deuce, and your deuces are coming too. When your deuces come, I want you to thank God, because what I figured out is if there weren't deuces, there couldn't be aces. And I don't care if you have to go through 198 deuces, there's only 2 teams. Everybody in this room is 2 people away from financial freedom. You're 2 people away from walking in and firing your boss, and staying home, raising your own kids, having your own life, making your own decisions. You're 2 good people away. When people don't sign up, it makes my mind want to explode. Because I ask people to sell me. When my friends don't do it, I said, okay, you sell me then. What are you going to do with that $365? What are you going to do with that $365? You guys understand they're going to blow it on things that don't have a shot at making them any money. Everybody gets that, right? But I say, sell me. You sell me on something that gives you a better shot at financial freedom than finding 2 good people. You could just get lucky. Everybody gets that, right? You could just find 1 ace left and 1 ace right, and it's game over. Payday. So the only thing I got to teach you is how to flip your cards. That's where all the money gets made. I got to teach you how to get butts in seats. I got to teach you how to fill up that arena instead of this little conference room. I got to teach you how to become professional inviters. I got to teach you the 5-step invite. This is what I would write down and read to my friends tomorrow to invite them out. So if I'm calling JR, the first step, real quick. That's it. Real quick. That's step 1. Step 2. What are you doing tonight at 7? Only call people the same day you want to meet them. Let me tell you what happened. Some of you found out I was coming 2 or 3 days ago and you started inviting people. And 2 or 3 days ago, people said they were going to come and only 20% of them showed up. That's because you gave them 3 days. I got sick of my friends standing me up. So then I started listening to the trainers that said call people the same day. Call people the same day when they say they're coming, they're actually coming. It's pretty cool. Real quick, what are you doing tonight at 7? JR's got 2 options. Number 1, he says he's busy. That's called a loss. His only other option is say he's free. That's called a win. That's the only thing I care about. So if you're going to treat this like a business, this is going to pay you like a business. You know what the problem is? Most of you are treating this like a hobby. And hobbies cost you money, and businesses make you money. If you're going to treat this like a business, you should track it. The only thing I want you to track is how many wins you get every day. It's all I care about. Who makes the most money tomorrow? Who calls the most people and says, real quick, what are you doing tonight at 7? They say nothing. That's called a win. More wins you get right there, more butts you gets in the seats. I got a rule. More butts you gets in the seats, the more monies you makes. Because if you got a butt in the seat tonight, didn't I do everything else for you? We are a team. You bag them, we tag them. That's our deal. But you know where you screw it up? It's when you lose. You go, real quick, what are you doing at 7? They go, oh, I got the kids. Well, untrained people lose and they turn into beggars. Here's what untrained people sound like. What are you doing, Mom? What are you next? You got a line? Can I come over? And you start begging people. Here's the problem. People don't follow beggars. People follow leaders. Now what I did was even worse, so I need you to hear this. When you screw it up, it's okay. If you've already screwed it up, it's okay. You would have laughed at me in the beginning. This is what I did. Real quick, what are you doing tonight at 7? He goes, oh, I got the kids. Well, I was so fired up, I used to go like this. No, you don't. You gotta come see what I just saw. It's Worldventures, it's travel. There's right legs, left legs, BMWs, magazines, Langley Center. Nobody's heard of this. We're all getting rich. And you verbally vomit all over your friends. You fire hose them. You know what your friends do when you verbally vomit on them? Remember those feelings I talked about? Here's where they get hurt. When you leave here and try to explain what you just saw. Why? What you just saw was a movie. If you get this one thing, you get paid. Have you ever gone to a movie and then gone home and tried to explain the movie to somebody? I have a question. Does the person you're explaining the movie to have the same experience you had by going to the movie? Here's the game. How many people can you get to sit next to you and watch the movie every day? That's the game. So if you want your friends to sit next to you and watch the movie tomorrow night, are you going to leave here and tell them the ending of the movie?
No.
then why are you doing it with Worldventures? Because you're wrecking it for yourself. Because the second you say travel, you're telling them the ending, they're going to prejudge it. You say make money, you say Worldventures, you say change your life, you say any of that junk. Let me tell you what all your friends are thinking. I know what that is. I promise you they don't know what it is. But if you give them the opportunity to prejudge it, they do. So if you lose, don't play. Real quick, what are you doing tonight at 7? You're busy? I'm busy too. You know what? I'm going to call you back tomorrow. Click. Next one on the list. You win, you move forward. Real quick, what are you doing tonight at 7? Nothing? Step 3. I'm coming over. Say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm coming over.
That's the end for me. 90% of my personals were signed up at their kitchen table, not at events like this. I just went right to my friend's house, so when I knock, open the door, and I just show them getpaidnation.net right at their house. If you want to show them me doing the presentation you just saw, show them getpaidnation.net, the password's residual. So that's my buddy Eric. I was just with him. I'm going to show you something. It's all you got to do. I would just go house to house to house. Once they signed up, then I get them to invite people and stuff like tomorrow night. Now, if I did want you to come here, I'm still going to your house and bringing you with me. Why? Last year I told you I presented on 4 continents. I've seen stuff. I have seen stuff doing Worldventures. But there is one thing I am yet to see. A guest attempt to jump out of a moving car on the way to a presentation. So when you pick those suckers up tomorrow, you drive fast. No stops. Just kidding. Sort of. You know what I've seen a bunch of? I've seen a bunch of my buddies outside at 7:05 tonight going like this, waiting for the friends that were supposed to meet them here. You know why people don't meet you here? Because they feel weird coming by themselves, and they don't know what they're coming to. But if you pick them up, they feel normal. So I say, I'm coming over. Now, if he says why, I got to go to step 4. Step 4 is to get excited. I see some of you get excited for 48 hours, where's on? I see some of you get excited for 48 days, where's on? The way I got to the tip top, I made a decision on day 1 for the first time in my life, I was going to stay excited about the same thing till the job was done. So how do you stay excited about the same thing for 8 years? You got to stay around the outlet. And this is what I mean. A cell phone, the greatest business invention in the history of mankind. But what good is this with a dead battery?
Yeah.
Let me demonstrate. It's a bad hammer. That's all it is. The greatest business invention in the world is just a bad hammer with a dead battery. Now I have a question. Isn't everybody a little more charged up about their business right now than they were before they walked in?
Yeah.
That's because you're at the outlet. Now how often are you coming back? See, I see some people come once a month and they go, why isn't it working for me? I see some people come once a week and they go, why isn't it working for me? Because you're in the real world with a dead battery and you're always the last to know, but it's obvious to the rest of us. And I'm around this every day and I'm fired up and they'll sign up with me all day long and they'll run from you. Especially in the beginning. You need to be around every event. I don't care if you have a guest or not tomorrow. You need to be there just so you stay charged up about your business. This is the locker room. See, they'll beat you up in the real world, but not here. So you need to be around as much as you can. This thing can only stay charged up for 48 hours and you're the same way. If you're not around Worldventures, I promise you your battery's dead 48 hours later. Be around it as much as you can. Now, some of you never get excited. I have to talk to my low-key people right now because you are my favorite. Because you will come up to me afterwards like this. I'm excited. And I'm like, tell your face. You're gonna tell me, but it's cool. The low-key people, you are usually the top income earners, and you are always the best inviters. Here's why. Everybody in your phone knows you're low-key. Everybody in your phone knows you haven't had a pulse since the 90s. If you call these people, I don't care what you say. Just call them like your hair's on fire and they'll come running to watch you burn. Okay, so you go, real quick, what do you got going on at 7? And they go, nothing. I go, I'm coming over. Why? Step 4. I got something you gotta see. Nothing else. Just, I got something you gotta see. And they're all gonna go, what is it? Okay, it's happening on every phone call. I know you're afraid of what is it. I want you to be prepared for it, not afraid of it. That's why we start by being busy. Call people when you're actually busy. I'm in a hurry. I said real quick, because you gotta go right back to it. Say, what do you mean, what is it? I just told you I'm busy. I'm with the kids. I'm at work. When you're busy is when you make your invite calls. Okay, I'm gonna give you a bunch of options for step 5. It's 90% visual. You have to see it. I have an idea. You give me a haircut over the phone, then I'll do this over the phone. You go first. Oh, you can't do it over the phone, huh? That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm inviting you. You have to see it. My favorite line for step 5, 2 words. It's me. Just put your name on this thing, and it will start working for you. Real quick, what do you got going on 9/7? Nothing. I'm coming over. Why? I got something you got to see. What is it? It's me. That's what it is, Mom. Cook something. Is your mom not in your top 10? If we all just left here and got our mom a membership tonight, we'd have the biggest night in the history of British Columbia. That's it. I'm not telling you to get Richard Branson. I'm not telling you to get Warren Buffett. You know, if you just got the 10 best ones, and you just show 10 your best people in your life, you can get 6. And then what if we just took those 6 and told them just go show 10, get 6? And then what if we took those 36 and just said show 10 and get 6? I can't do the math, but it gets big fast right there, doesn't it? Because it multiplies fast. Okay, that's all you have to do. But you know what happens when you make your first call? You suck. Okay, who cares? Do you know we all sucked our first day? You just weren't around to watch me suck because I got in before you did. My first day, I signed up, I filled out the paper app, and I brought it to the guy in the front of the room, and I said, before you put that in the computer, we got to make a deal. And he said, what's that? I said, I never get up there and talk. That was my deal the day I started Worldventures. And he said, cool, just invite people out. My first 40 days, I came every day to a presentation, and I brought people with me. And on my 41st day, I had a presentation in a garage for 4 people, and I couldn't get anybody to come help me. And I had to stand up in front of those 4 people, and I was so nervous that my knees start shaking uncontrollably, right? Finally, I'm clicking through, it's terrible, and I got 5 slides left, and my hands start shaking, okay? Cold day, concrete floor, all of a sudden, boom, I drop the clicker. Anybody know what happens to the clicker? The sucker explodes. And I can see my 4 guests right there, and I can see my car a quarter of my eye like this. And I went. I bolted. It's a real story. I left my first Worldventures presentation without finishing because I sucked so bad and I was so embarrassed. People I was like, did they sign up? No. Never saw those 4 again. So what? Last year I spoke in Singapore twice, and when I went back the second time, I landed at 3 a.m. in Singapore, and they had 35 people waiting at the airport chanting my name when I got off the airplane. You want to know the first thing they said when they came up to me? They said, Eric, you talented speaker. And you know why they said it? It's because they weren't in the garage. I don't believe in talent, not in this business. I think you need talent to play in the NHL. I don't think you need talent to stand up and do what I did. If I do have one talent, it's just that God forgot to put the quit bone inside of Eric. And if you're not a quitter, if he forgot to put the quit bone inside of you, the only difference between my story and your story is time and repetition. I've just been doing it longer than you have. You know what fired me up my first night? The guy in front of the room said, the day you start, Eric, this dude's flying his own airplane. And he goes, you get the same website I get. You get the same prices. You get the same comp plan. I've just been doing it a little bit longer than you have. I just kicked my snowball 8.5 years ago. It's had some time to grow. And you got to kick your snowball tonight. And that's the only difference between our story. All I wanted was a shot when I was in your chair. I wanted to get good at something worth getting good at. Do you even have a shot at making money when you're not there in your job? How much you get paid for the work you did in 2013 today in your job? What happens if you leave tomorrow? See, we all got to build something. We all got to work hard anyway. Why don't we work hard as a team? Okay? Never again in your life, and I said this to a group earlier, but I couldn't mean it with every fiber of my being. I mean this right now. Never again in your life can you say I wasn't at the right place at the right time. You're here. But Ray Kroc says this: the 3 keys to creating wealth is be at the right place at the right time. Step 2, recognize you're there. It doesn't matter that I know you're here. It matters that you realize you're here. And step 3 is take massive and immediate action. Massive and immediate action. Don't forget the immediate part. The sign above my bed says this: what would you do today if you knew you could not fail? Who would you call when you walk out these doors if you know the answer is yes? Wouldn't you call everybody? And wouldn't you start with the most successful person you know and get them in front of me tomorrow? And wouldn't you just keep dialing until your fingers were bleeding if you knew everybody was going to say yes? So ask yourself that question and watch what happens. This team will explode. You'll be the people they're telling stories about, but here's what's scary. What if this thing becomes $1 billion giant and you're here at the first night I ever present in the country of Canada, and you don't get your piece of it because you don't do what it takes. You know what scares me? It's like you didn't even exist then. It's like you're here, but you're not even really here if you don't get what you came for. So my advice is don't be that shoulda, coulda, woulda guy that always says I was there, but I didn't do what it takes. I had every opportunity, but I didn't do the action. Take the action. I'm here for 2 more days. You can use me as much as you want, but you got a great team of people here, and we're about to take off. So I'm gonna shut up now. I know I talked too long. Thank you all for coming out. Really appreciate it.